Welcome back to Pharaoh Iron and Customs. I'm Michael, and today we're going to get on building this floor mount for, it's going to be like a universal floor mounting system for all of the tools that I would need to use, like the bead roller, and I'm going to set up the tire changer, and just anything you'd need to drag out on the floor and would need to sit in the corner. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to make a section of my shop where I can store these tools, and if you take the base off of these tools, it takes away the, it cuts down on the space that those tools take up. Anyway, y'all see where I'm going when I get into it. So what we're going to use, I got a receiver from Harbor Freight. I already cut part of it off, but we realistically only need enough to go to the floor, through the floor, but I'm going to use the whole thing and we'll have to dig out into the ground once we get through the floor. So I picked up an 8x8 piece of plate, and I'm going to go over and figure out where I want to drill the holes. We're going to drill the holes in it and start cutting up the floor. So this is going to take today, and I'm going to have to finish it tomorrow. I don't have quite everything I need to do this, but I want to get it done ahead of the bead roller, of getting into the bead roller, so we'll be able to, socket the bead roller down in it and use it. It's marked out where I want to drill it. These holes, I could have been a little more square, but the mill didn't cut this plate square. It's that's about how far off it is. We're about 1/8 of an inch off. So the middle is what matters. I'm actually going to weld around the outside, and I'll get into why I'm going to do that whenever I get a little further along with this. But these are the holes that are going to matter, and I look like I marked those differently. Let's see. Oh yeah. I do not know what the heck I was thinking when I did that. Because these are the ones we're going to have to recreate on every one of the plates that we do. I'll X that one out. So we got 4 mounting holes in the corner and 2 mounting holes for when we put the stand is going to go through a plate and be able to bolt down. And that's just something that I want to do. For me personally. So let's get started cutting this out and we'll come back. Okay, we're going to start by drilling all of these to 1/4 inch. And then we're going to work up to half the radius on that. And we've got to lift up the platform. The radius on that piece of pipe looks like it's about 1/2 inch on the corners. That's not really going to matter. It's just got to be able to clear the piece of 2-inch pipe. We're not really worried about clearing the 2.5 inch pipe, or the 2.5 inch square tube, rather. I'm sorry. Like I said, this drill press is set on the lowest speed, and it is, I can't even imagine what this would be good for. You probably want to drill wood slower than this as well to try to avoid tear out as much as possible. You can't see anything with my arm, can you? I've got to get like I said, I've got to get a boom for the drill press. For my camera. That should be probably something I look into ordering this week, so I can get those overhead shots Anyway, I'm gonna get this because it's not really a good angle. I'm gonna get this drilled out and I'll come back. Okay guys, I got the holes drilled. I've got the, do not have the plasma cutter turned on. Get some juice. The compressor may kick in. It just finished up. I was going to say I'm going to use a straight edge to get this line as straight as possible. Use whatever method you have to cut with, whatever method you're comfortable with. For me, I like having several methods to cut with because I don't like cutting thick steel with the cutoff wheel. To me, it just goes through too many discs. It takes too much time, too much dust. But whatever you like to do. When you're running a plasma or welding, run a dry pass to make sure that you're not going to get snagged on anything. Make sure you've got plenty of lead, and that's almost as nice as you could cut one with a plasma table. Of course, I have messed up this square. I need to gut another one. If you walk up over the edge of the square, you will burn it. So we're going to go a little more proud of the line than I went on the last one. If you've got holes drilled, it's good to start your plasma over the hole. That way it's already cutting. Oh, ain't gonna do nothing without a ground. Alright, we'll get that cut out and we're coming back. Okay guys, at this point in the video, I want y'all to be 100% aware that there is a kind of preloading the concrete where they run cables through the concrete, and after it dries, they set tension on the cables. Now, if you're cutting concrete and it has those cables in it, the cable can violently explode through the concrete and do massive damage to your concrete floor, and potentially, you know, do massive damage to you if you happen to be on the receiving end. I'm pretty sure this floor is not made like this. A matter of fact, this floor, as rough as this floor is, I know for a fact that it was not, you know, if they brought concrete out here in a truck, and they may have, nobody floated this floor, you know, so. But I will leave the name of that style of, you know, reinforcing concrete. Do your research, know what you got going on, and be safe. Okay? Now, where I got this cut out, it could have been a little nicer. I could have went a little proud of the line and, you know, got it a little nicer, but it's going to be okay. We're not going to worry about that too much. And I do want everybody to know I'm going to put 2 of these in the shop. I'm doing one now, and some point in the future I should have went ahead and did both of them at the same time. It would have made the most sense. At some point in the future I'm going to put 2 just in case I need to use 2 tools at the same time, so I don't have to jump back and forth, you know, pick them up. You know, the more steps you save yourself in changing tooling, the quicker your work is going to turn out, the less fatigue you're going to have, you know. And if you're like me and, you know, got osteoarthritis and all kinds of nastiness like that, you're going to find the way to do it and create yourself the least amount of fatigue. Alright, let's get into this. Okay, I'm just kind of winging it right now. What I want to do is get the hole cut in the floor, and then I'm going to have to either go back to town today, and I don't really foresee that happening. Just going to make a little mark on the floor. I could mark where the holes are going to be, but I want to get this drilled out, and I want to get it. I'm going to have to go get a masonry cutting blade for my skill saw and cut this out, and then I'm going to cut some slits and recess it in the floor so it's flat. So right now I'm just getting this hole drilled. This square hole cut out. What we're going to use, we want a ½ inch on the corners. So I'm just gonna chuck up a ½ inch bit, and we're gonna go. This is the Bauer hammer drill. I ended up buying this because the hammer drill I had was a piece of junk, and so far for personal use it's been a great drill. I don't know how it would do for if you were trying to use it every day. So we're going to line up with our holes. That's going to be extraordinarily fun, so we'll be back. Alright guys, I don't know if y'all can see down in there, but I got that cleaned out. Something y'all may want to do is make your hole slightly larger, because I had to get the chisel out and get most of that out, and I had to break out the vacuum to suck a good bit of the rocks and stuff that was left in there at the end. Alright. Like I said, I'm just squaring it off of the holes that I drilled and trying to get it squared to this piece of 1/4 inch plate. Tack. That's straight. Loose. Just come this way. I felt like it did. I'm going to tack on up. Don't blast it in there. Flip side, certainly don't move. I could have made that a little hotter, I believe. Both sides look pretty good. That'll hold. Okay guys, we're gonna have to stop while I go get some stuff. Just gonna kind of show y'all what I've got going on here. This is we may have to clean up that. Oh, I got them edges messed up. Yeah. We'll have to clean the edges up. That's fine. I'll get those out and clean them up. But the idea is we're going to make a receiver in the floor that's going to accept several different tools. Anything that you need, from the tire changer to the bead roller to the shrinker stretcher. I'm even going to set up my grinders on one, and we'll be able to put it here, and we're going to have one in the front on this side of the shop, and it's going to be recessed in the floor. But I've got to pick up 2 of the long barrel nuts to go in these holes. I need to get some studs, and I need a concrete blade to cut out the concrete so we can recess it. And when we get done, I am going to create a little cap to go in there. This one is still not quite the right size, but we'll create a cap to fit in the hole, and then you won't be able to get stuck in the hole. It'll just be like the floor's there. Anyway, I'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, the shop is a total disaster right this minute, and I kind of screwed the floor up where I had to cut out for these to fit. So I'm not going to be able to finish tonight, but I am going to go ahead and glue this down, and we'll come back. Tomorrow I'll have to come back and cut the studs off and weld them. Okay. Whew, guys, let me catch my breath. I have it bolted down, and we are going to let the liquid nails dry overnight. Anyway, I'll come back tomorrow. We still got to loosen off of those studs and the nuts and weld them down one at a time and cut them off and grind them smooth. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. You know, because I have thoughts that when you weld it, you're going to let the stud stretch and it's going to release some. But the guy that did this is how he did it. And do I think there might be a better way? Possibly. I'm going to think about it before I do the other one. And we're going to have the shop a whole lot more empty than what it is right now, because this has made a disastrous mess in here. Whew. Anyway, caught my breath almost. So I'm gonna go feed some dogs and cats and that kind of fun stuff, and we'll come back and finish this video up tomorrow, and I'll give you a preview on what the bead roller looks like so far, because I've already started working on it. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Okay guys, there it is, all welded into place. I made a mistake on this step. I made a mistake on this step. What I should have done was got 1 inch longer bolts, tightened them down, and left enough room to pre-load the bolts while I welded them. But, you know, it's too late to do that over, so it is what it is. Maybe we'll do this again, and I'll show y'all that next time. Okay, and there it is with, you know, get y'all a little preview of the bead roller, the work I've done. Like I said, that should come out Sunday. But all we got to do, I want to add a plate at the bottom so that I can bolt that. I can't use the bolts right now anyway, because I need to run a tap through it. And we talked about before that the tap, I don't have the 3/8/16 tap. It's missing out of my kit. It's probably broken, whatever. So I ordered 3, but they haven't got here yet. So, you know, have some extras. So tomorrow and the next day I'm gonna work on this bead roller. I think I'm pretty much whipped for today. Had a kind of a longer day at work than I normally stay out there. So I'm gonna go in and get this edited, and tomorrow we're gonna get back on the bead roller. All I've got left now is to weld the motor frame, the little frame to hold the motor on the bead roller, and do the electronics and paint the frame, and it's essentially done with what I'm going to do right now. It is way stronger than what it was, and I think I've used like 10 gauge, 11, whatever it is that 1/8 of an inch equates to is how thick the steel is. 2x3 box tubing, and it's made one heck of a difference. So anyway, y'all come back and see that video on Sunday. As long as nothing goes wrong, I should have that up and posted Sunday. Like I said, 2 more days, I'll have this done, and then the rest of this week I'm going to try to start doing some cleaning in this shop. That digging in this hole in this floor has made one heck of a mess in here. So I'm going to get started on that. Don't know how far I'm going to get, but you know, anyway, that's coming up. I'll see y'all Sunday.